हरि सुंदर। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चिन्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवान् च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगणरघुनाथन्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवम् श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयतां गिरिः यत्कृपातहमं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं श्रीवन्दे गुरुम्। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So yesterday we have seen partaking prasadam, of that is honoring Lord's Mahaprasad. Now drinking Charanamrit, Padhyaswaro, न दानम न हविर्येषाम स्वाध्यायो न सुरार्चनम तेपे अधिपादोदकम पीत्वा प्रयांति परमाम गति. Charnamrita is obtained in the morning while the Lord is being washed before dressing, scented with the perfumes and flowers. The water comes gliding down through his lotus feet and is collected, mixed with yogurt. In this way, this Charnamrita not only becomes very tastefully flavored, but also has a tremendous spiritual value, as described in the Padma Puran. Even a person who has never been able to give in charity, who has never been able to perform great sacrifice, who has never been able to study the Vedas, who has never been able to worship the Lord, or in other words, even one who has never done any pious activities, will become eligible to enter into the kingdom of God if he simply drinks the Charnamrit which is kept in the temple. In the temple, it is the custom that the Charnamrit be kept in a big pot. The devotees who come to visit and offer respect to the deity take 3 drops of Charnamrit very submissively and feel themselves happy in transcendental bliss. न दानम न हविर येषाम स्वाध्यायो न सुराचन. Na Danam, who has never given a donation. Na Havir Yashat, who has not done any yagya. Swadhyaya, even never read Shastras. Na Surarchanam, or not worshipped the deities. Tepi Padodakam Pitva, even those people who have not done all this above thing, if they drink Padodakam, this Charnamrit, Prayanti Paramam Gati, they attain the highest destination, that is abode of Lord Vaikuntha, abode of the Lord, that is called Vaikuntha, or Lord and his Dham is also not different, so they can attain Vaikuntha. See, that is the glory, Then, smelling the essence and flowers offered to the deity, Dhupa Saurabhyam in Haribhakti Suddhodaya, there is a statement about the incense which is offered in the temple. Aghranam यद्धरेद दत्तं भुवोऽप्यच्छिष्टस्य सर्वतः तद्भवद्व्यालद्रष्टानां नस्यं कर्म विशापहम्. When the devotee smells the good fragrance of the incense which is offered to the deity, they thus become cured of the poisonous effect of the material contamination, as much as one becomes cured of the snake bite by smelling the prescribed medicinal herbs. Then next one is Malya Saurabhyam. smelling the flowers offered to the Lord. प्रविष्टे नासिकारंध्रे हरेर निर्माल्य सौरभे सद्यो विलयम आयाति पापंजरबंधनम. That means any devotee into the temple should always offer something to the deity, fruit, flowers, incense, etc. If one cannot offer anything in cash, something else must be offered. In India, the system is that all the ladies and the gentlemen who come in the morning to visit the temple bring so many things. Even one morsel of rice or one morsel of a flour can be offered. It is regular principle that one should not go to see a saintly person or the deity in the temple without any offering. The offering may be very humble or it may be priceless. Even a flower, a little fruit, a little water, whatever is possible must be offered. So when a devotee comes to offer something to the deity in the morning, he is sure to smell the good fragrance of the incense, and then at once come he will become cleansed the poisonous effect of the material existence. It is said in the Tantra Shastra, if pravishte nasikarandre, if the smell of the garland which was offered to the deity in the temple enters into the person's nostril, hare nirmalya saurabhe, sadyo vilayam ayati. Immediately, his bondage to sinful activities becomes cleared. And even if one has no sinful activities, still by smelling such a remnant's flowers, one can advance from Mayavadi to devotee. There are several instances of this, a prime one being the advancement of the four Kumaras. They were impersonalist Mayavadis, but after smelling the remnants of flowers and incense in the temple, they turned to become a devotee. From above verse, it appears that Mayavadis or impersonalists are more or less contaminated. They are not pure. It is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam, one who has not washed off all reactions of sinful activities cannot be a pure devotee. A pure devotee has no more doubts about the supremacy of the personality of a Godhead, and thus he engages himself in Krishna consciousness and devotional service. A similar statement is in Agastya Samhita. Just to purify impurities of our nostrils, we should try to smell the remnants of flowers offered to Krishna in the temple. Aghranam gandhapushpa architasya tapovanam vishuddhihi syad anantasya grhanasyeha vidhiyate. Just by smelling those fragrance, one can get rid of all the sins and he becomes purified. Now, touching the deities. Atha Sri Murte Sparshanam in Vishnu Dharmottara Puran, Sprishtva Vishnoradhishtanam Pavitra Shraddhayanvitaha Papabandher Vinirmuktaha Sarvan Kaman Abapniyat. In the Vishnu Dharmottara, there is a statement about the touching the lotus feet of the Lord. It is said, only a person who is initiated as a Vaishnava is executing devotional service in Krishna consciousness has the right to touch the body of the deity. In India, there was agitation during Gandhi's political movement because the low-born classes of men, like street sweepers and chandalas, are prohibited according to the Vedic system from entering the temple due to their unclean habits. They are prohibited, but at the same time, they are given other facilities, so they may be elevated to the highest grade of a devotional service by association with the pure devotee. A man born in any family is not buried, but he must be cleansed. That cleansing process must be adopted. Gandhi wanted to make them clean simply by stamping them with a fictitious name, Harijan, children of God. And so there was a great tug of war between the temple owners and Gandhi's followers. But anyway, the present law is the law of all scriptures, that if anyone is purified, he can enter into the temple. Actually, that is the position. Only one who is properly initiated, who is properly following the rules and regulation, can enter and touch the deity, not all. And one who touches the body of the deity, following such a regulative principles, is immediately delivered from the contaminations of material sins, and all of his desires becomes fulfilled without delay. See, I was just wondering, because here this is from Shraddhayanvitam, Papa Bandher Vinirmuktaha Sarvan Kamanoha Punya. And when I read these first few lines of Prabhupada's translation, I was a little perplexed. What is this? The translation has given here as
only a person who is initiated as Vaishnava.
I was wondering how, why Prabhupada has given this particular thing here. But at the end, Prabhupada gives this translation in last 4 lines. First, he gives the reason behind that, why they are not allowed, and who is allowed to touch the deities. That's why it is said that you should read books in the association of devotees. Otherwise, anartha.
But Prabhuji, in Pandharpur, they allow you to touch lotus feet of Lord Panduranga.
See, previously they used to go and hug their lordship. Not only, and those days, like a 200-300 years before, people were following some culture, they had some cultural aspect, and they were knowing that when to go to public place, when not. Nowadays, even they used to practice before I came to this temple. Even during their menses, they used to come for dressings. They used to touch deities, they used to make offering, they used to do. And I was surprised. I asked them, then they told that no. Our in charge has told us it's fine, it's natural. But here, Rupa Goswami and Prabhupada has clearly mentioned who should not touch, who should not visit temple, during those unclean time. So one has to understand, if you are serious and really want to make progress in spiritual life, then we need to follow these rules and regulations which are given here.
This one.
Those days people used to come and they used to have a safe distance, They used to have a darshan of their lordship from distance. But they used to touch the devotees who have gone and taken embrace of their lordship, Like Chokhameda, he was always outside the door because he was low caste. But Lord came to his place. And other devotees, they accepted him as a great devotee. But they never crossed their limits, Deha Dharma, they never left that. Like Sanatan Goswami Pari. Even though he was a Brahmin from Dakshin Bharat, very high class Brahmin family. But he never entered Jagannath temple. Even though Mahaprabhu, he himself used to embrace him daily. And Mahaprabhu asked, you go and take. He said, no, this body, because he has served the mlechas. So he don't want to go and do that. That we need to understand. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Seeing the deity. Atha Srimurti Darshanam. In Varaha Puran, the statement is there, which praise the seeing of the deity of Krishna in the temple. Vrindavane tu govindam ye pashyanti vasundare nate yamapuram yanti yanti punya kritam gati. My dear Vasundhara, Lord Vara is speaking to Mother Bhumi. Any person who goes to Vrindavan and sees the deity of Govinda Dev is free from the courthouse of Yamaraj and is allowed to enter into the highest planetary system in which resides demigods. This means that even an ordinary person who goes to Vrindavan out of inquisitiveness and by chance sees the temple, especially that of Govinda Dev, even if he is not elevated to the spiritual kingdom, it's still assured promotion to the higher planetary systems. This means that simply by visiting the deity of Govinda in Vrindavan, one becomes highly elevated in pious life. Now, observing Aarti and celebration of the Lord. Aratrika darshanam, aratrika darshanam, aratrika darshanam, aratrika, that is Aarti. Kotyo Brahma Hatyanam Agamyagama Kotyaha Dahatya Lokamatrena Vishnoho Saratrikam Mukham. Oh. I never read about this. In Skanda Puran, there is the following description of the result of seeing Aarti. If someone sees the face of the Lord while Aarati is going on, he can be relieved of all sinful reaction coming from many thousands and millions of years past. He is even excused from the killing of Brahmana or similar prohibited activities. As we have already explained, there are different ceremonies to be observed, such as birthday of Krishna, the birthday of Lord Ramachandra, the birthday of some prominent Vaishnavacharyas, the ceremony of Jhulan Yatra, with the Lord sitting on a swing, and Dola Yatra, the Lord's activities in the month of March. In all festivals, the Lord is seated on a car and the car moves through different streets of the city so that people may take advantage of visiting the Lord. In the Bhavishya Puran, it is said, in such a ceremony, even a Chandal, a dog eater, simply out of curiosity sees the Lord on the cart, he becomes counted as one of the associates of Vishnu. That is Utsava Darshane. Ratastam ye nirikshante kautukenapi keshavam devatanam gana sarve bhavanti shvapachadayaha. That is Utsava Darshana. Ada Shabdena Puja Darshanam. In Agni Puran, it is stated, Pujitam Pujyamanam va yapashet bhaktito harim Shraddhaya Modanam asto soapi yogafalam lave. Any person who in gladness sees the worship of the deity in the temple will obtain the results of Kriya Yoga, which are described in the Pancharatra scripture. Kriya Yoga is a system of practice much like a practical devotional service, but it is specially meant for the mystic yogis. In other words, by the gradual process, the mystic yogis are eventually elevated to the devotional service of the Lord. पूजितं पूज्यमानं वा यः पश्येत् भक्तितो हरिं श्रद्धया मोदमानस्तु सोऽपि योगफलं लभेत्. Now, the most important thing, that is techniques of hearing and remembering. The chapter 10 of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Now the Shravana Nama Charita Guna Adinam Shrutir Bhavet. The beginning of Krishna consciousness and devotional service is hearing, in Sanskrit called Shravanam. All people should be given the chance to come and join devotional parties so that they may hear. This hearing is very important for progressing in Krishna consciousness. When one links his ear to give oral reception to the transcendental vibrations, he can quickly become purified and cleansed in the heart. Lord Chaitanya has affirmed that his hearing is very important. It cleanses the heart of the contaminated soul so that he becomes quickly qualified to enter into devotional service and understand Krishna consciousness. In the Garuda Puran, it said, Samsara sarpa sandashta nashta chetaka bheshajam Krishneti Vaishnava mantram shrutva mukto bhavennaraha. The state of conditioned life in the material world is just like that of a man lying unconscious, having been bitten by a snake. This is because both such unconscious states can be ended by the sound of mantra. When a man is a snake bitten, he does not die immediately, but first becomes unconscious and remains in the comatose condition. Anyone who is in the material world is also sleeping, as he is ignorant of his actual self or his actual duty and his relationship with God. So, materialistic life means that one is bitten by the snake of Maya, illusion, and thus, without any Krishna consciousness, is almost dead. Now, the so called dead man bitten by a snake can be brought back to life by the chanting of some mantra. There are expert chanters of these mantras who can perform this feat. Similarly, one can be brought back into Krishna consciousness from the deadly unconscious state of a material life by hearing of a Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In the fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 29th chapter, verse 39 and 40, the importance of hearing the pastimes of the Lord is stated by Shukadev Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj. Tasmin mahanmukharita madhubhircharitrapiyushare sarita parita sravanti taye pibandyati vrishtrusho nrupagada karune stan prashanatyanshan trudabhaya shokamoha. My dear king, one should stay at a place where the great acharyas speak about the transcendental activities of the Lord, and one should give oral reception to the nectarian river flowing from the moon-like face of such a great personalities. If someone eagerly continues to hear such a transcendental sounds, then certainly he will become freed from all material hunger, thirst, fear, and lamentation, as well as all illusion of material existence. तस्मिन् महन्मुखरिता मधुभिर्चरित्रा पीयूषशेषसरिता परितास्रवन्ति ताये पिबन्ति वितृषो नृपगाढकर्णैर्तान् स्पृशन्त्यश्य नृतृढभयशोकमोहा. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also recommended this process of hearing as a means of self-realization in the present age of Kali. In this age, it is very difficult to follow thoroughly the regulative principles and studies of the Vedas, which were formally recommended. However, if one gives oral reception to the sound vibrated by a great devotee and acharyas, that alone will give him relief from all material contamination. Therefore, it is the recommendation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that one should simply hear from authorities who are actually devotees of the Lord. Hearing from professional men will not help. If we hear from those who are actually self-realized, then the nectarian rivers, like those which are flowing on the moon planet, will flow into your ears. This is the metaphor used in the above words. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, a materialistic person can give up his material hankerings only by becoming situated in Krishna consciousness. Unless one finds a superior engagement, he will not be able to give up his inferior engagements. Vishanu vartante niraharasya devi. In the material world, everyone is engaged in the illusionary activities of the inferior energy. But when one is given the opportunity to relish the activities of the superior energy performed by Krishna, then he forgets all his lesser pleasures. When Krishna speaks on the battlefield of Kurukshetra to a materialistic person, it appears that he is simply talk between two friends. But actually, it is a river of a, oh sorry, it is a river of nectar flowing down from the mouth of Sri Krishna. Arjun gave oral reception to such a vibration, and thus he became freed from all illusions of material problems. So with the exact translation of the verse, Prabhupada has given the day-to-day examples for that, so that the people in this era can understand what actually this principle means. In the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the third chapter, text number 15, it is stated, Yastu uttama shloka gunanuvada sangiyate abhikshana mangalagham amangalagham तमेव नित्यं शृणयाद् वीक्षणं कृष्णे अमलां भक्तिम् अभिसमानः. A person who desires unalloyed devotional service to Lord Krishna, who is praised by the transcendental sound vibrations, should always hear about his glorification and transcendental qualities. His will surely kill all kinds of auspiciousness in the heart. Oh. Now, expecting the Lord's mercy, the next principle. Tat Krupekshanam. In the 10th canto, 14th chapter, text number 8, it is said that Tatte Nukampa Susamikshamaano Bhunjanevatmakritam Vipatam Ridvagvapubhirvidana namaste Jivet muktipade sadaya bhaka. My dear Lord, any person who is constantly waiting your causeless mercy to be bestowed upon him, and who goes on suffering the resultant action of his past mistakes, offering you respectful obeisances from the core of his heart, is surely eligible to become liberated, for it has become his rightful claim. Tat Krupekshanam. Desire to get the mercy of their Lord. This statement of the Srimad Bhagavatam should be the guide of all devotees. A devotee should not expect immediate relief from the reactions of his past misdeeds. No conditioned soul is free from such a reactionary experiences, because material existence means continued suffering or enjoying of past activities. If one has finished his material activities, then there is no more earth. This is possible only when one begins Krishna conscious activities, because such activities do not produce reaction. Therefore, as soon as one becomes perfect in Krishna conscious activities, he is not going to take birth again in this material world. A devotee who is not perfectly freed from the resultant actions should therefore continue to act in Krishna consciousness seriously, even though there may be so many impediments. When such impediments arise, he should simply think of Krishna and expect his mercy. That is the only solace. If the devotee passes his days in that spirit, it is certain that he is going to be promoted to the abode of Lord. By such activity, he earns his claim to enter into the kingdom of God. The exact word used in this verse is dayabhag, or sorry, dayabhag. Dayabhag refers to a son's becoming the lawful inheritor of the property of the father. In a similar way, a pure devotee who is prepared to undergo all kinds of tribulations in executing Krishna conscious duties becomes lawfully qualified to enter into the transcendental abode. Dayabhag. That's why one should hear about the Lord in the association of devotees. Because that association only gets you rid of all your impurities in the heart and the reactions of your past activities also get burned by sadhu sangha. The next thing is smriti. Yata kataschin manasa sambandha smriti ruchyate. The definition of smriti. Yatha kathachin manasa sambandha smriti ruchyate. Some way or other, if someone establishes in his mind his continuous relationship with Krishna, this relationship is called remembrance. Some way or other, if one establishes in his mind his continuous relationship with Krishna, that's called remembrance. Yatha kathaschin manasa sambandha smrtiruchyate. In Vishnu Puran, where it is said, Smrite sakala kalyanam bhajanam yatra jayate purashastamajam nityam brajami sharanam harim. Simply by remembering the Supreme Personality of a Godhead, all living entities becomes eligible for all kinds of auspiciousness. Therefore, let me always remember the Lord who is unborn and eternal. Smrite sakala kalyana bhajanam yatra jayate. Just by remembering their Lordship, sakala kalyana bhajanam, that brings all auspicious, and that makes us eligible for all kinds of auspicious. In Padma Puran, it is said, Prayane cha yannama smarata